Hey guys, um, for reading today, the only thing that you need to do is read your new text. It's called The Two Travelers, and it is a folk tale, which means it's a fictional text, and it usually has some kind of moral or lesson to the story, something that we can learn and apply to our own life. So I want you to think really quickly about a skill that we use in fifth grade that involves having a lesson or moral, something you can apply to your own life. Any guesses on what our skill is for this week? If you're thinking theme, then you are correct. So this was a good story to start with for today, um, because folk tales almost always have some kind of takeaway, something that you can learn from the main characters. I'm going to read through the story with you. If you'd rather read it on your own, it's totally up to you, or you could do both. You could listen to it for your first read and then read it yourself for the second read. Because I'm going to stop and just kind of, work through the story with you as we go. All right, so here we go. I'm starting The Two Travelers, a Folk Tale. Two friends, Ganem and Salem, were journeying together when they came to a broad stream at the foot of a hill. The woods were near, and the shade was so welcome after the heat of the desert that they halted here to rest. After they had eaten and slept, they woke up and continued, when they discovered a white stone upon which was written in curious lettering this inscription. Okay, so we know so far two people been walking a long time, they're very tired, and then they find a shady spot to stop, and they see a stone with something written in it. Let's see what this stone has written on it. Travelers, we have prepared an excellent feast for your enjoyment, but you must be bold and deserve it before you can have it. What you are to do is this: throw yourselves bravely into the stream and swim to the other side. You will find there a lion carved from marble. This statue you must lift upon your shoulders and with one run carry to the top of the mountain as quickly as you can. When you have reached the top of the mountain, you will find yourselves in possession of great happiness. Okay, so we can infer that someone wrote this note while they were sleeping because they didn't see it before. And I'm also going to explain marble. It says there's a giant lion carved from marble. Well, it didn't say it was giant, but lions themselves are pretty big. Marble is extremely heavy. Statues and things similar to statues are made of marble, and very heavy. So to carry that up a mountain in one go without stopping to rest would be really difficult. Ganem was truly delighted when he read these words. See, Salem, he cried, here lies the road which will lead us to the end of all of our travels and labor. Let us go at once and see if what this stone says is true. Salem, however, was of another mind. Perhaps, he answered, this writing is but the joke of some bored beggar. Perhaps the current of the stream runs too swiftly for any man to swim it. Perhaps the lion is too heavy to carry, even if it's there. It is almost impossible that anyone could reach the top of the mountain in one run. Take my word, it is not worthwhile to attempt this crazy adventure. I, for one, will have no part in it. Nevertheless, Ganem was not discouraged. My mind is fully made up to try it, he replied, and if you will not go with me, I must go alone. So the two friends embraced, and Salem rode off on his camel. So Ganem is pretty brave, determined, it sounds like, because those are not easy feats to accomplish. He was barely out of sight before Ganem had stripped off his clothes and threw himself into the stream. He soon found that he was in the midst of a whirlpool, but he kept bravely on, and at last reached the other side in safety. When he had rested a few moments on the beach, he lifted the marble lion with one mighty effort, and with one run reached the top of the mountain. Here he saw to his great surprise that he was standing before the gates of a beautiful city. He was gazing at it in admiration when strange roars came from the inside of the lion and on his shoulder. The roaring grew louder and louder until finally the towers of the city were trembling and the mountainsides re-echoing with the noise. Then Ganem saw to his astonishment that great crowds of people were pouring out of the city gates. They did not seem afraid of the noise, for they were all smiling faces. They all wore smiling faces. As they came near, Ganem saw that they were led by a group of young men who held by the rein a prancing black horse. Slowly they advanced and knelt. before Ganem, saying, "Brave stranger, we ask you to put on these fancy robes which we are bringing, and, mounted upon this horse, ride back with your citizens to the city." Ganem, who could not believe his ears, begged them to explain to him the meaning of these honors, and the citizens replied, "Whenever our king dies, we place upon the stone by the river the inscription which you have read. Then we wait patiently until a traveler passes by who is brave enough to undertake the bold venture. Thus we are always assured that our king is a man who is fearless of heart and determined. We crown you today as king over our city." So Ganem really got a good deal out of this. He tried his hardest. He overcame those challenges, and in the end, ended up being crowned king of the city that they rested in. Okay, so you need to read through that or listen to it one more time, and then you may mark your assignment as completed on Google Classroom.